take a second to look around. I can feel the smiles, let me break it down. Take it up with computer love. Futureland, the plug, hit you with a bug.
Hey there, you guys. It's Nikki B here, Futureland365, right here on WOVU 95.9.
And it's just Joseph, and we just finished up the heart behind the host. Y'all gonna get an insight of who we really are, so make sure y'all tune in to this episode.
Tune in. All right, you all, welcome back.
What's up? We back.
Futureland365, it's Nikki B here.
And it's just Joseph.
And today we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
We have a game that we're gonna play, right? What is it called, Joseph?
It's gonna be called Heart Behind the Host. So we want y'all to get to know us. You know, we've been having a lot of fun here on this Futureland365
We learned
show.
a lot about business, entrepreneurship, innovations, creativeness, fashion, right? Joseph came up with the fashion today. Y'all see, he got some texture going on.
Got to shout out my sis Nikki B as well. She's doing her thing, you know.
We coordinating. Isn't that what Pop said? You got to coordinate.
Hey, we just like to have fun here, but I would say for me, just the amazing guests that we've been able to have on this show have brought so much insight, and just I've learned so much just with the amazing guests, and like you said, in all different sectors and business and tech, and it's just been very interesting to hear their stories.
Yes, that's the part that I love so much. About the stories behind the purpose, right? Right. And I think that's what we're going to do today. Like, wait, who is just Joseph? Who is that girl Nikki B? But we're going to share with you guys today the heart behind the host.
I love it.
It's so important. You'll have a brand or you'll have a business, but what is the story behind that, right? We say you can sell, but stories actually sell, not just products. You have to have a story behind that, because why people resonate to those stories. So
I love it. Well, let's get into it. Heart behind the host. So this is how we plan. I have came up with some questions for Nikki B. She got some questions for me, and we don't know what we about to ask each other, but it's about to get real. You see, we got our Futureland365 cue cards. Shout out to Power Brand. Shout out Perspective Films for this amazing space and doing all that they do for us.
Our favorite people.
So it's going down. You want to start? You want me to start?
Rock, paper, scissors,
I'm a little
you
nervous.
go first?
All right, let's get it. Rock, paper, scissors, 1, 2, 3. That's what happened.
Rock, paper, scissors, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, she beat me. Oh, she didn't beat me. All right.
Where I'm going. Okay, here's the first question.
All right.
Who is just Joseph when no one is watching?
Wow. That is a good question. Okay. I am a father and a husband. That's who I am when nobody is watching. When I'm letting my guard completely down, just making sure my home is protected, safe, making sure I'm doing everything I need to do as a protector, provider, and really just trying to lead my family. So that's a space that is when I'm being most authentic, like myself. And I wear many hats, but at home I'm just daddy, you know what I'm saying, to my kids and my wife, you know what I'm saying. But
okay.
I'm just pops, you know what I'm saying. But that's I'm realizing. I mean, it's all new to me. I got married. This is gonna be my 4th year. We're about to celebrate 4 years of marriage, and I got 2 baby girls. So this is all kind of still new. I'm still learning how to be a husband. I'm still learning how to be a father. So I'm in that process. But that's who I am behind closed doors.
I love that. I love that you share that, and that prompts me to ask you another question.
Okay.
This is new to you, and you're saying this is what you're doing. You're navigating, trying to learn. So what tools, or do you have spaces that help you to learn, how to be a father, how to be a husband, how to be that protector and that provider? I know we were talking the other day, and you were saying that you were going to one of your men's groups that help you to sustain and being that good man, or keeping your good character, your integrity, and things like that. So what are those things that you do to stay, a good father? Of course you make mistakes, right?
100%.
But do you have community, and what tools do you use to be that father and husband?
number one is developing my relationship with God. That's forefront, because he teaches me how to do all these things, right? Because a lot of times I really don't know what to do, so
Right.
I have to have, you know.
You have to go to your Father,
gotta
right?
go to my Heavenly Father who
Yes.
knows all things, right? So, but in that, I say definitely community help. So I do have a men's group that I go to. It's called Men of Valor, and actually one of the portions of it is called Hitman. It's called Husbands in Training. That's what the
Whoa,
HIT
I
stands
love
for.
that.
Yeah.
Hitman.
And I'm telling you, that group really tested me in so many areas, because what I learned in that group is really not about anything my wife does. It's how I respond. It is all about the internal work that we do. And so there's going to be different pressures that come from everywhere, but we're taught as kings, you respond and not react. A lot of people react to situations.
Talk about it.
but
Major
kings
difference.
And queens, they
Yes.
respond. So, yeah, so I've been just, community, who you surround yourself with, because I do a lot of pouring out, but sometimes I just need to be poured into. And so those communities are important. And obviously going to church,
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you for sharing that.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate that. And also you inspire me. When you said that yesterday, I was just like, I love that, just Joseph. Although I missed Bible study last night because I knew I had some other things that I needed to do. But so I love that. It's very important.
Yeah, and I know you were part of different groups as well.
Yes.
So we're going to get into that.
Okay, not too
So
much,
here we
not
go.
right now.
Let's see.
I'm nervous, you all.
Okay. How would you describe who you are today beyond your titles and your roles?
Wow, that's such a great question. Repeat the question again.
Got you. So how would you describe who you are today beyond your titles or your roles?
Yeah, just what we were just talking about. It's a child of God, right? God's daughter. A peculiar individual, separated, set apart. So I am not a host, I'm not journalist, I'm not executive secretary, I'm not any of those things. Truly, number one, I am a child of God, a woman of God, a daughter of God, to be even more, heartfelt. And that really changes the way that I respond in situations, like I was sharing with you all off camera, a situation that happened a couple of weeks ago or whatever. I could have responded, I could have reacted volatilely, right? I could have had a very just angry, lashed out, all those things. But then afterwards, what are we really doing here, right? So in those moments, because I'm sitting with the Lord, I'm having that quiet time, I'm having Bible study, I'm learning more about Him. The goal is ultimately to be more like Him, right? Yeah. So in that moment, that's what I chose. Because it's in me, I had to do that.
For the record, she shared what happened. She handled it way better than I would have, so give her a lot of credit. But no, that's good, because, when I ask you, how would you describe who you are today? A lot of people answer that question with what they do.
What they do.
Yeah, and what we do doesn't define us, but it's who we are.
It's who we are.
It's who we are.
Yeah, it's
so
how we
good.
choose to show up, right?
Yeah.
How we choose to show up. I could choose to show up, or I could walk around with my nose. I'm like, I'm cute, or whatever, right? But no, really, you're ugly, because why do you have to do that? No, your energy introduces who you are before you even walk in the room.
I hope y'all taking notes out there. Your energy introduces yourself. Wow, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So the way you carry yourself, right? You he's got some good fruit about him, right? He has a beautiful sense, a beautiful aroma, right? And if you study in your Bible, you know what I'm talking about. So that's what I love about you, and that's why I believe we're in alignment and why we're here now. So that's awesome. That's who I am.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. All right, what you got for me?
Okay, that's right. We are still playing a game here. Ooh, I haven't even made it off the first card yet, you all. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one is so good. What does freedom look like to you in life, in work, and in your voice?
What does freedom look like? Yeah. Read it one more time.
What does freedom look like to you in life, in work, and also in the way that you use your voice?
I keep hearing the word purpose come to mind. Purpose. So when you're in purpose, when you are pursuing purpose, when you're following purpose, it's freedom in that, because now everything that you're doing is aligning with who you are. So I think that's freedom, because you can truly be yourself.
Yeah.
For so much of my life, I kind of wanted to put an image out there that I want people to believe in. You know what I'm saying? And you
So
want
much
people to
work in
see that. And it's a lot of work to uphold an image, but freedom is just saying, well, I could just be who I am. And if people rock with that, cool. And if they don't, well, you ain't supposed to be in my tribe anyway.
It. Yeah.
So like you really start to identify who is for you and who's not when you can just show up as your authentic self.
Right.
So I would say, freedom looks like purpose, and authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's what we were talking about yesterday as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we in
Thank
alignment.
you for sharing that.
All right, here we go. So, and this would be the question, the next question I ask. Okay, how has your understanding of purpose changed over time?
Ooh, I really love this question.
Yeah, okay.
And let me tell you why. And you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, that's right. Well, you are, because my name is actually Nicole, right? And so I found out that the name Nicole means victory of the people.
That's good.
So much purpose there, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm also the oldest of 6, so it makes a lot of sense. So, and what's the question again?
How has your understanding of purpose
right?
changed over time?
So, once I understood who I am, right, the power of my words, the power of my presence, I show up different, right? I do not show up shrinking with my shoulders shrugged in. I walk, my shoulders are rolled back. I don't walk in the room looking at my phone or scrolling. I put my phone tucked away. I walk in there with my eyes looking around, see who's in the room, see who's not in the room. But I'm really not concerned about any of those things. I'm walking in so you know, oh, I'm shifting the atmosphere, right? I'm going to shift the atmosphere because I understand my purpose. And even more specifically, when you break down purpose, because quite honestly, we all have the same purpose, and that is to give glory to God and to praise and worship Him and to share the good news. But we all have a specific assignment, right? Just Joseph has a specific assignment, and that's his alignment. We're aligning together because I'm walking in my assignment, right? So once I understood those things, there are certain things I say no to, and certain things I say yes to. And if I'm indifferent, that means probably not right now, or it's really a no. So once I understood the meaning of my name, the power of my words, and the power of my presence, that is it right there.
I love it.
Did I answer the question?
Nah, good stuff.
Okay.
I'm rocking with that. All right. So what you got for me?
Okay. Let's see. Okay, you ready for this one?
I don't know.
Have you ever almost given up, and what pulled you back?
Have I almost given up? Yes. I would say there was many times in my basketball career where whether I got hurt, that was a big one. I kept suffering from different injuries throughout my career, getting cut from teams, just different adversity, things happening where you're going through something and you're like, it's taking all the joy of the game away from me. So I don't even know if I want to continue playing. I've definitely had those moments. And I would say it's always my faith that has brought me back on track, you know, because it is those times, and I can't help but always, be who I am. I always got to bring up the Bible, but in the book of James, it talks about when you go through hard times, consider it joy because it's testing your faith and it's building endurance in you. So a lot of the things that I look back over my life and realize, like when I wanted to give up, but I kept pushing through, now I look at those instances and I take from those, like I'm able to realize, like, man, and see what I was really made of.
Exactly.
And I think it's a quote from, even Martin Luther King that talks about, the measure of a man is, you really find out who somebody is through adversity.
Through adversity.
Yeah. So I didn't quote him exactly, you know what I'm saying? But I paraphrased
a bit, right.
Shout out, the King. But yeah, it's just like when you're going through something, that is the time where you really get to discover who you are.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will always say it was my faith that pulled me back, but also having a strong tribe and community. So I got people that I can call that, hey, either they gonna give me that tough love, like, hey, get it together, like, tighten up.
Stop crying.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
get it together.
Hey, this is good. Like, this is good. You need some friction.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got some people that's just really gonna encourage you and love on you. So you need, a little bit of that balance of both.
Yeah, I love that so much. That reminds me of something my dad shared with me. And he said, you can never truly measure the character of a man until times are hard or his back is against the wall. Yeah. That's when you can truly see who that individual is.
That's so
right?
Good. Sounds like a very wise man.
He is. He's pretty cool. He's pretty wise. Yeah. So I was just like, And I pondered on that, and that actually causes me to pause when I'm going through something or something is a bit tough or hard. I'm just like, okay, people are watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. All right, let's see what else I got here. These questions be in line. Hold on, listen to this. So what you was just saying, okay, so what is the biggest lesson your struggles have taught you about yourself?
Oh my gosh, it's such a great question. That I'm stronger and more resilient than I thought that I was, right? Thought that I needed other people when essentially everything that I need is right in here.
It's already inside.
Yeah. So I have to go inward versus like, who can I call when I'm going through this? Get quiet, get still, my girl. Yeah. Come to me, cast your burdens onto me, because why? My yoke is light, right? Is that it?
Yeah.
So I've learned that I'm stronger, more resilient, and more powerful, right, than I thought that I was.
That's good. That's good. All right, what you got?
All right, I always forget that we're actually playing a game. So this is the last question right here. This is it. I promised, right?
Well, I got one more for you.
Okay, great. There we go. Embrace myself. All right, what's the impact you are committed to leaving on the mic and off?
The impact. It's loaded. Well, I think I just want people to be okay with being themselves and knowing that's enough. So you don't have to put on for people. Me personally, I choose to live for God, stay true to my convictions, and I think legacy is a big word, because I went to a funeral recently, and that always puts things in perspective.
I'm sorry to hear. Yeah, that's always tough.
Yeah, so but what happens though in those moments, you realize that that's a guarantee for everybody. One day we're going to pass, but what is the legacy we can leave behind, and what do you want people to be saying about you at the end of your life? So it's really a sobering moment, when you experience death or around it, because that's a real reality. So for me, I just want people to know that I lived a life of love and did my best every day to leave an impact, to serve other people. Yeah. So that's service.
Yeah, for such a loaded question, that's such a genuine, simplistic, yet heartfelt and heavy response. And it really just shares who you are and what you do and what you believe in. Yeah. And that's loving others and sharing your peace. So I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, here we go. My last question for you. Shuffling
cards and stuff. I don't know.
Let me see. Did I ask them all?
I don't know. Did you?
Okay. Would you consider Would you consider this to be like a new season of life for you?
Oh my goodness, it's such a wonderful question. Yes, I do.
Okay, then what have you learned in this new season of life that has surprised you?
That I don't have to be loud. Yeah, another wise, some more wise words from my father. He shared with me that you don't have to raise your voice, but you do have the responsibility to raise your words. I was like, what?
Right. What does that mean? Break that down.
That means to words. Articulate through emotions, right? Or if something floods up, like, okay, I need to take a beat, take a step away. How can I articulate what I'm feeling? Or how can I articulate the struggle or the obstacle or whatever it is that's going inside of me? How can I talk about that thing, right? Furthermore, it means speaking up for yourself, right? When no one is speaking up for you, be your biggest advocate, right? So that is the biggest thing that I've learned in this new season is that I can speak up for myself because really I've learned that it's my 7-year-old, 8, 9-year-old self that was, right? I'm like, hey, little Nikki B girl, come on, I got you, right? So that's what I've learned in this new season is to be my biggest advocate, and my words and presence is powerful to this little girl.
That's good.
It's me.
Yeah. And everybody got a little boy and little girl that's still wrestling
we all do.
with.
You do too.
Yeah, facts.
You do too.
As tough as you think you is.
It's that little boy, that little new little juju, whoever. Speak up for yourself. Yeah.
Well, that concludes the game. The heart behind the host. So we hope y'all got a chance to understand a little more about Just Joseph and a little more about Nikki B.
Heart behind the host.
Yeah, I love that game. And I got the chance to, learn some more about my amazing co-host here.
My amazing co-host, Just Joseph. Yeah, he's such a dynamic individual, you are. Yeah. Thank you. And I love that. You serve your community very well.
Wow, you do the same.
Thank you.
That's why this works, you feel me?
Yeah, feel me.
Well, that was a fun game.
That was fun.
Good. I like that.
That was good.
Yeah.
It was fun and deep at the same time. That's
for sure.
Where we keep it.
Nice balance.
Nice balance.
Yeah.
Rhythm is what I like to call it.
That's kind of cool about this show that we're doing, because even the guests that we bring on, we get to, it's fun for them. They have a good time. Like everybody who leaves the show is like, yo, that was a dope experience.
Yes, absolutely. Every time.
Every single time. And then we also get to hear from their hearts, you know what I'm saying? They get to talk about their story. And I think that's what lights most people up when they get to talk about their story on it, because people look at the outcome and the results, but then they don't understand what all that went into to build that
or
thing.
How many years it took to cultivate, and then now you have this glacier thing, but it's all this under the water, So that's with good. That being said, who's been your favorite guest so far?
Favorite is tough. I don't think I can give a favorite one because there's been so many good ones, but I would say, when we had Quill the Messenger on, when he came through us, he brought some bars and he taught some breathing techniques.
That was so much fun.
I had a lot of fun with that.
And y'all put me on the spot. Y'all know I can't rhyme and rap.
Well, that's all my element.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, we got to freestyle a little bit. So that was cool. That was a lot of fun. When we brought the finance gurus on, when we had Maurice and John. Yeah, that was fun. Micah Dixon as well. So they brought a whole new element that was, just about, mindset, all about mindset. And I thought that was great as well. Obviously the financial talk is always good. And then I really enjoyed Jawan and her son.
Oh my goodness.
They were good. I just love her.
Such a lovely story.
Yeah, amazing story.
And to see that the business that she built was out of pain and purpose, right?
Yeah.
But she was like, what? You gonna tell me my daughter can't go to college because she is dyslexic? Let me prove you wrong. And so from there, she built this empire. And now she's a whole author, right? And in different languages. Her book is now in different languages. So I love that so much. I'm inspired.
Yeah, that inspired me as well. Yeah.
And her son is creating his own path.
Right.
Under the umbrella, right? That's the legacy there.
Yeah.
And helping young men who are like him, look like him, teaching them how to play chess.
Yeah.
All those things.
So
That's
I gotta make a pause for our listeners, because if you have not heard all of our episodes, our previous episodes, you gotta tune in. We are now on every platform.
Every platform. On
we
YouTube.
We doing it big over here, Futureland.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so you can check it all out.
All of them, all 12 episodes.
Yeah, all you gotta do is type in FutureLand365 podcast. We are on every platform, and also make sure y'all are subscribing to our YouTube channel, tuning in and following us on all of our social media platforms at FutureLand CLE. So we've been consistent.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, so
you don't want to
tuned.
miss what's happening here, because there's so much community work, so many resources to be able to connect the dots. If you have an idea, shorten that time frame from the idea and the action, right?
Yep.
And we have those resources, especially we have them listed in the notes for the things, our production team, they do all that great work, right?
They holding us down.
They hold us down.
But we're just getting started, y'all. So make sure y'all tuning in, because the guests that we have coming up and all the amazing things we're doing, you want to stay tuned. Yep.
Yeah.
So what about yourself? Who was
my favorite shows, my favorite episodes or guests? I think each one I gleaned from. Yeah. I took something away from each episode. Not only on a business side, but also personally, right? I can actually see the growth in each episode, and the way we ask questions, the way that we engage with our guests, because each person is different. Yeah. And like you were talking about the sectors and the industries, they're all different. So it's like, how do we navigate this and ask questions, but still keep them engaged, as well as, ask these questions, tech questions, and I don't know anything about building an app, right? So JR Fogle with Local, that was one of my favorite ones. I was like, so I need an app for my business? Okay, great. And Pink and Black Honors, right? Pink Party Retreat, all the things. That young lady, she is powerful. Right? She just kind of points the finger, say, oh yes, we'll do that. Miss Tenora Edwards. That was amazing.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite ones.
We've had so many, it's hard to kind of like recap. To
kind of go back, She's a Boss. Was that the episode?
Oh yeah, when we had
She Means Business.
Yeah,
there we go.
Bosses, they
oh
came
my
through.
Goodness. We had a truck driver. The cotton candy, oh my gosh, it was such a great episode, and to see that they're resilient and meaning business, like not missing a beat. I think those are some of my favorite ones.
So I'm just thinking about the overall FutureLand brand, and like what excited me most to like be a part of it, and I'm just thinking back to like the first time I went to a FutureLand conference.
What was that like?
It was cool, because I kind of didn't know what to expect. You're just hearing things, and then, okay, what is this? That's the question everybody first asks about
FutureLand. Like, what does that mean? What is that?
I got in there, and what intrigued me was it was a conversation between Rich Paul and Mayor Bibb, and Alicia was hosting it, and just the questions that was being asked, the topics that were being discussed, and I got to hear the story, because I knew Rich. Like, I would have conversations with him in terms of, during my basketball career, even though I signed with a different agency, I've had conversations with him, but I didn't know his story of starting Clutch. And so that was very interesting, and then hearing what Clutch stood for, it just made me see a whole nother side of him that I didn't know. And the mayor as well. And so that was just a great question, but it was very intriguing, and I definitely think we need to bring that back. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there.
Because I have like, things are clicking here. Like, I would love to be a part of that, right? For sure.
But it's just those conversations that happen, those innovation that happens as a result of bringing people here, and we have so much talent and diversity here in Cleveland, and just what FutureLand does is it brings everybody together. And just that alone, you don't know how much inspiration that happens because of that. So that was my introduction to FutureLand, and I was just like, how can I be a part of this thing? From that point. But what about yourself?
So you said that within yourself, right? And then it manifested, or?
Yeah. Yeah, basically. I mean, well, shout out Alicia because
Okay.
she, you know, was there. I went up to her.
It's a major
afterwards.
connector. I'll say it's
Yeah.
the Cleveland connector.
Yeah. Shout out Alicia. She's definitely a connector, and she was just like, yo. And that's the heart behind Futureland. It's like, yo, I want to be a part of this thing. And it was like, yo, we want you to be a part of this thing. So it's always good when you have, you know, something that it's a perfect alignment. Like
Right.
what I'm doing, I can add value and they can add value.
Right,
So that's
exactly.
the type of, you know, atmosphere we want to create here at Futureland.
I love that. Yeah. Again, we keep talking about this. We can't escape it. Alignment and purpose.
Come on.
It's right there.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I'm a part of Futureland365 as well. A lot of the things and the pillars and values that they stand on, I stand on. Not only me, but the brand and the platform. It's aligned.
Yeah.
Right? So the first time I was a part of Futureland was last year, actually. And I was asked to be host. Well, first, no, that's not. Let me pull it back. The first thing is, I was like, they were like, hey, let's do some red carpet. Okay, great. So I was one of the red carpet hosts for a segment. So that was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then not long after, they're like, oh, wait, can you be host for this particular time on this particular stage? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Right? And so I had a phenomenal time.
Yeah.
I was able to rub shoulders, talk with, network with some individuals that, again, like you were talking about, I had no idea existed, right? I met BK Watts. I met Troop. Well, I got to know Troop a little bit more from Midwest Takeoff. Shout out my guy. But yeah, it was phenomenal. Sharita Carthon with Power Brands. She helped with the run of show and the way that things were flowing. It was just absolutely amazing. And Micah's group chat, right? She was one of the part of the run of show, and I had the opportunity to introduce her in the panel that she had on, and those were the guests that we had on Futureland365. So. That's another aspect of it too, or a branch, if you will. Futureland365 is continuing that conversation, right? So they had a little segment there, but then they were able to come back to the show and expound more about their businesses and their brands and how they were able to build it and to scale as well. So that was great.
You talked about the networking piece, and I think that's like at the heartbeat of the Futureland conference. And now that we're building the ecosystem, it's like you don't know who you're going to meet.
Facts.
You don't know who's going to be there.
You don't know who's going to be there, what they do, how they do it. You don't know how you can serve one another, how you can build and add value like you were just talking about as well. So
the most important thing, though, is showing up and being in the room. And then once you're there, you're realizing like, oh, because then at first, for me at least, I was like this, like, man, do I belong in this? I come from the sports background, like, do I belong here? You know, it's all these tech people, innovators, you know, big entrepreneurs, a lot of people with, you know, millions of dollars and all of these, you know, fancy businesses and fancy titles, and I'm just little old me. But then you start finding your way and finding out, you know, I do belong in the room, you know, and that's the beauty of Futureland. It is, we're inviting in the beginning entrepreneurs, if those who are taking their first steps in their journey, you know, and I think that's a beautiful thing where you're mixing the two. You have the experience with people who are being inspired, and that's what it's all about, pulling the next person up. And that's the culture we're trying to create, especially here in Cleveland.
Yeah. You know, I'm just bubbling over here because, you know, I can't escape scripture because it's our life, right?
Yeah.
But do not despise these small beginnings, right? But then also scripture says, finish strong, right? Patience is better than pride. So again, I think a lot of times too, we walk in a room like, oh, I don't belong. Could that possibly be like pride a little bit? I don't know. Could be, but do not shrink yourself. You're in the room for a reason, right? The opportunity is presenting itself because you have something that needs to be pulled out. And that's what Futureland is all about. And then Futureland365 is that's an extension of that.
100%.
That's why myself and Just Joseph are here to share that with you all.
Absolutely. So we hope you all can be a part of this movement.
Yes.
Listen, it is not just a conference. We are a movement. That's why we're called Futureland365, because, you know, it's all around. It's all year round. And so we're bringing on different guests with different experiences and different backgrounds in all different sectors. And we're just bringing the information. We want to bridge a gap. We want to provide the resources for our listeners, the information for our listeners, and we want you to become a part of this movement. So the first thing you can do is obviously subscribe, to follow all of our channels, to stay engaged, to go to www.futurelandcle.com, sign up for our newsletters, and just stay engaged.
So what can the people be on the lookout for, and what are you excited about?
Oh man, so I got a lot going on. I would say, first and foremost, I wrote a book. I brought it with me.
What?
Yeah,
You
Peace
wrote
to Perform.
a book? I love that.
I wrote this actually while I was still playing professional basketball. I was overseas at the time when I wrote it, but I wanted to write a book that would help athletes who are looking to build a stronger relationship with God. So it's a 30-day devotional.
Show them the book.
Peace to Perform. You know, because I spent a lot of time in my career feeling the pressure to perform, always feeling a lot of pressure, whether that was for a new contract, a new position, or, you know, whether to impress other people. But truly, when you understand your true identity, and that's what we've been talking about throughout this show, your purpose and who you are, that gives you the peace to perform. So it's a 30-day devotional, and it's also a ministry that I've started to, you know, help other athletes to go on this path as well. So it's exciting. I'm in the early stages of that. So, you know, I call it P2P. And I also do music. So I got some new music coming out soon.
I love that.
Yep, I go by Just Joseph.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I used to make music under my old name, Trey Lou, but now I've transitioned everything over to Just Joseph. So be on the lookout. Got some big news coming with that. And and then I started a YouTube ministry as well called Joseph Arise, and that's just me walking in my full identity as Joseph. So yeah, go check that out. That's on YouTube, Joseph Arise. So,
I love that. I've been tapping in and
tapping
listening.
in?
I'm just
All
like,
right, cool.
I know that's right, Joseph.
Yeah,
yes,
appreciate that.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for sharing all that. So you guys
Absolutely.
follow my guy here.
Yeah,
Like
thank you.
he's got some great things coming up, and I'm looking forward to it as well.
Appreciate it. So how about yourself? What you got on the horizon? What's new?
So you all can follow me on my IG, Facebook, all the things. You can follow me at hey_Nikki B. You can find me at a red carpet, a stage, or a workshop near you where I'll be speaking, or even a Bible study. Yeah. So leading Bible studies and things like that. So follow me for all the things, positive, victory, all that. And you can follow my podcast on YouTube at Hey Nikki B. And that's VIP with Nikki B, where we see the victory in people, but most importantly, we want you all to see the victory in yourself.
Love it.
So
I'm gonna
yeah,
have to tap in as well.
yes, tap in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Maybe you could be on the podcast.
Please have me on.
Let's do it.
Come on, you know how we
Let's do
flow.
it.
You remember the handshake?
Okay, wait. Yep, there you go.
Tap me in.
Tap
Let's get
in.
it. Yeah.
Well, all right, you all. That's it. That's all. Futureland365. It's your girl Nikki B here.
And it's Just Joseph. And until next time, y'all be cool.
Peace.
Yeah. Take a second to look around. I can feel the smiles. Let me break it down. Take it up with computer love. Futureland, the plug hit you with a buzz.